Wounded and tired, Ciri collapsed in the swamp. Some peasants found her and took her to the Baron, Velen's self-appointed ruler. The warlord took the young woman in, had her nursed back to health, then sent her on her way to Novigrad.
Hello everyone, Richard back for more Panzer Corps. Or not Panzer Corps, Witcher 3. Let's see, quest. Yes, let's do this. Yeah, let's... What was I doing exactly? Oh, I was looking for someone. I think there's... yeah, okay. Let's go here. Yeah, I was looking for a bandit camp, because there's a merchant in there that has a card that I want. Normally I just run across the bandit camp, but that didn't happen this time, so I don't really know where it is.
It isn't easy, not at all.
Maybe right before I go to Novigrad, I can turn on the question marks to see where things are. But there's a swamp thing I should take care of. I don't know why they said I failed. Oh, I know why. I had accidentally stumbled across a Witcher quest, but I had not talked to the person that had issued it. So I can't actually talk to them to get more money. That's the first time that's ever happened, and that was just because I was randomly walking around. Okay, so it's over here. Wow, look at that area of effect. Is it Igni? No, apparently neither.
Now in his eye. I'll use it. Someone placed an illusion here.
Okay. Use the eye. Is there an illusion? I am very confused. I've kind of done this a little out of order.
Damn, you're ugly.
An illusion. Different claw marks. Guess a few individuals feed here. Tracks around the corpses.
There's tracks.
Didn't even have time to pull out his weapon. Monster must have been concealed. Surprised him.
Oh, what is going on? Stop.
Corpse is decomposed almost completely. Guess I'm dealing with an old foglet hiding behind an illusion.
Beast entry added Ignis Fatuus. Weak to moon dust. Maybe I should use that. And Quinn. The monster haunting the peat bogs of Velen turned out to be an ancient foglet. They are exceptionally long-lived creatures. Some have even dwelt on the earth for over 200 years, growing stronger and stronger all the while. Blows dealt by foglets of such an age carry so much power, blocking them is out of the question. These foglets possess the ability to move extremely quickly, and not even Jurden can slow them down. Furthermore, they can melt completely into the mist and suddenly rematerialize to strike from behind. Wearing heavy armor or making good use of the Quinn side is highly recommended. Okay. And moon dust. Does that slow them down? Prevent monsters from transforming. Okay. Or the Quinn side. Oh, right here.
There's something here. Need to...
Oh, look at that. I should probably put necrophage oil on. Come on. Whew. Where is he? Oh my god. Oh my god. The foglets act really funny in the computer version of the game. They're very, like, they don't come out much. I should probably just Quinn and get used to this. Come here. It's really frustrating that
Bastards are strong.
I feel
Must
like
be the fog.
the monsters are more buggy in the computer version. Like foglets they seem less engaged with you. They just run away. Whoa. I got the superior Urson sword. Interesting. Dragon's Dream. Come here. Wow, this guy's tough. No.
Show me what you got.
The moon dust helped a little bit. I don't think I got it as accurately. It's really hard to use moon dust against these guys. Yeah, they hit hard. Okay. I don't remember, is there anything else? What's this? Okay, that's where I came from. Just checking to see if there's any hidden prizes, like... Nope. So I'm glad I did that quest now, because the Foglet is only going to hit harder with level scaling.
Careful, sir. A monster prowls the bog. Enter the mist and you'll never see home again.
Monster's dead. Fog's dispersed.
Ha! Village folk will be content. Give them cause to celebrate. Well, you've earned your reward. Take it, and fare you well.
Nice. Okay. What other quests? Blood ties. Yeah, let's do that. I should read that to Swamp Thing. Do. There it is. A mysterious fog that killed all who had ventured into it had arisen near the village of Downward and inconveniently close to where peat was being dug. Geralt decided to investigate this murderous myth to see if he couldn't put a stop to it. Geralt's investigation took him to the very heart of the swamp. As he was walking, an exceptionally hideous foglet suddenly jumped out at him from an unusually thick patch of fog. The monster was old and strong, making defeating of it no easy labor. Geralt managed the task, however. In a few moments after the foglet breathed its last, the poisonous fog dispersed, and the Witcher could at last fill his lungs safely. Hoping to find someone who would offer him a reward, Geralt went to Downward, and a peat digger residing in that village was grateful Geralt had enabled a return to his labors, and so handed the Witcher some coin. Okay. Where am I going next? Here. What a miserable shithole. This world sucks. This is where orphans go, apparently. Or children that are not desired. Let's see. Oh. Yes, we will go here. That's right, this is a Nilfgaard quest. We gotta find a body, huh?
Hey, you! Halt! Geralt of Rivia, correct? You were in White Orchard recently. Near Vizima.
Mm-hmm. Charming village, if you don't mind rotting corpses.
There'd have been one more if not for you. Lena. She survived, thanks to your potion.
Nice to see a Nilfgaardian soldier so concerned about the fate of some simple Nordling. Kind of surprising, too.
That night, when the Griffin attacked her, she was on her way to meet me. in the woods near the garrison.
Love knows no bounds.
Not so. Her parents told her that if they saw her with a Nilfgaardian, they would shave her head, cut out her tongue, and banish her from their home. Listen, Lena, she has not fully recovered. I took her with me when I was transferred. Thought she might get better. But no, she says nothing, recognizes no one, sleeps most of the day.
I warned Tamira. Witcher potions have powerful, usually permanent side effects. Can't do anything to help now. Maybe a mage could.
I don't know whether to thank you or curse you for not letting her die with dignity.
Trust me, choice I had to make was harder.
I really love that scene. And I think Geralt gets the last word. You have to decide to let someone die or try to help them knowing that there's a huge risk involved. House of Respite. What is this? The House of Respite's motto, a soldier does not live on war alone. This is slightly misleading, however, for the club is not open to all soldiers. Only Nilfgaardian officers are those capable of passing themselves off as such. Yeah, I don't think I can actually get in here. I don't think I've ever gotten in there. I don't know if you can. Oh, ghouls. Awesome. Oh, man. God, this level scaling is nuts. I have better armor and I'm still getting wrecked. I gotta find his body, huh? Oh, here we go.
Fled into the swamp. Red hair. Probably him. Need to find something else to know for sure. Dog tracks. It's as if they were pursued. Letter to his mother. Least I can do is get it to her. But that's it.
Unsent letter. Dear mother, this might be my last letter. My head hangs low as I write, for I have brought great shame on her family. I have failed my brothers at arms. In the hour of truth, my courage failed me. I ask no forgiveness, for I deserve none. I ask only that you pray for me. May you live in health, H. So he deserted and you know, he was unable to handle the fighting. You're kind of seeing a humanization of, like, a Nilfgaardian soldier here. Not every Nilfgaardian soldier wants to be doing this. and we know how brutal they can be, so he's probably seen some things and done some things, and he had enough. Does that make him a coward, or does that make him principled? Where is she? Here she is.
My son, were you able to learn anything?
I was.
I wish to know the truth. Be it sweet, be it painful. I wish to know.
Your son is dead.
How did it happen?
He deserted. Was caught, then hanged.
Lies!
Found him hanging next to others. Notice posted on the tree was clear.
I do not believe you. My son was no coward.
Believe what you will. Found a letter on him, addressed to you.
Mother, this may well be the last time I write. In all my letters I have lied. Forgive me. I am no hero. Take no pleasure in killing mortalings. This place is a nightmare. I have borne it until now. I can bear it no longer. Not long past, they ordered us to murder prisoners. Do you know what this means? To kill defenseless men. I must flee this place. Oh, darling child. Forever. You have found him for me. Your payment. Take it.
That's just I think a lot of people that play this game don't appreciate that stuff. That is very, very heavy. You're seeing something that isn't really described in history books. What is it like to be a soldier, murdering innocent people? We kind of gloss over that. We pretend like it doesn't happen or it's not a big deal. But I think it is a big deal. It turned out the noblewoman's son had decided to desert along with some other disgruntled soldiers. A search party had immediately been sent after them. Some were caught and killed, while others managed to escape. Sadly, the woman's son was among those hanged. When she learned this, she was overcome with grief. The little girl had found on her son's body informed her how monstrous war can be and how hard it is to judge the actions of the soldiers taking part in it. Well, what other quests do I have? So, follow the thread is important. Okay, I have nothing left for Witcher contracts for Velen. And, okay, so what I'm gonna do, I need to mark that. What do I want to do? I think I want to go to Blackbow. Is it night? Yeah. I want to go to Blackbow because I know there's a quest there I didn't do. Am I level 12? Wow, I'm level 12. There's somebody here that has a quest. I don't know if I've ever done it before. Oh.
She were a good girl. Shame she's gone.
Blame her. Lost her sister, then her sister's man. Parents died long past.
She did well to go. Be better off elsewhere. Find joy, maybe.
Yep.
I see you're a man well traveled, so tell me.
Where in the hell is this woman? There's a... Is it over here?
Yeah?
Ah.
What's the matter? A monster bothering you?
Nay, a ghost.
Can you tell me anything more?
You see, Jackamar haunts my dreams. Jackamar's my husband, or was till he died at war. He stands by me headboard and wails. So many years apart, I've such woe in the beyond. Come, join me. I say, I'll come, Jackamar, but when the gods summon me, not before. Then he says, leave your wedding ring by me grave. It'll make the waiting lighter. And I'd leave it, where the wood's not so terrifying. So, I thought to myself, maybe you.
Sure it's your husband's ghost?
He's saying I can't tell me own man. I'm old, but I ain't gone daft yet.
Not what I meant. There's wraiths that deceive, assume the form of dead loved ones. Trows, for instance, or dunnies.
Nay, I'm sure this is Jackamar. In me dreams he spoke of our nuptials, how we danced at Bellatane, how the Redanians killed him at Rind.
Rind? You've either mixed something up or you're very old indeed. Battle happened 80 years ago.
Oh, aye. Slip of the tongue. Meant to say the Battle of Rivia.
Be glad to help. Where's Jackamar buried?
A little cemetery near Blackbow, in a grave neath the old tree. Here, take me ring. Once you've laid it down, come to me for your reward. We live in a hut in the middle of the village with my granddaughter, Leslie.
I've never done this quest before.
Now, where the hell? Strange.
Last rites. Yeah, everything about this is strange. I think this is secondary. The old woman looked much like many other widows of Velen, though her eyes seemed to have seen even more hardship than usual. Perhaps that was because she was haunted by the ghost of her husband, who had died at war years ago. The ghost had asked the woman to bring her wedding ring to his grave. The cemetery was too far off for an elderly woman to journey to, however, so she asked Geralt if he could make a trip for her. The Witcher took pity and decided to grant her this somewhat unusual request. I suspect that's a spirit, because she's talking about something really old. Get over the fence.
Must be Jackamar's grave. All right, that's done.
Whoa, what is that? Very strange. What is that? Place of haunting. Use Kira's magic lamp here to conjure up a vision tied to this location's path. Oh! Oh.
At last, will ye forgive me?
Already have.
Whoa. What does he need to be forgiven for? This is kind of a weird, out of nowhere quest.
White One. What's your business? Bloody Baron know you're here? Witcher, what brings ye?
Leslie, right? Wanted to talk to your grandma.
To my... But she's been dead for years.
Guess I talked to a ghost. Why wasn't she buried alongside her husband?
I can't say for certain. I was a little lass then. But me mum told me that shortly before Gran died, she learned Grandad had kept lovers on the side. She had no desire to lie beside him.
Seems she changed her mind. She wanted something to connect her and her husband in the afterlife. Asked me for help.
That's hard to believe. But you've an honest look about ye. If you helped Gran, you deserve a reward. Here, tain't much, but I'm afraid it'll have to do. The army's passed, then the pox, now the hunger. Grim Reaper must be having a lark.
Interesting. Last rites. Level 9. Geralt took the old woman's ring to her husband's grave, yet when he returned for his reward, she was nowhere to be found. He did find her granddaughter, who informed him her grandmother had died years earlier and paid him for his troubles. Okay, next stop. I think enough time has passed for another quest at Lindenvale. I think. And then after that, I think I'll turn on the question marks, because I think I missed the bandit camp I need. What is this? Gather grubs before they're gone. Fields near the village swarming with grubs. Turn over a bit of dirt with a spade and you'll see dozens of them. Once you scrub them in water and rub them with herbs, they go down altogether pleasant. Hurry now before the birds and other wild things eat them up. Oh, I think I read those, yeah. There might be... Where is everybody?
Where'd you come from? Lay me there without.
Has that enough time passed?
Tisn't easy, but what was that about?
Okay. There is another quest here. Yeah. I could do bridges. Oh, I can't turn it back on. Oh, wait, I can turn it back on, I think. Options. I can't? Okay. Oh, that must be a permanent turn off question marks. Okay. Let's do bridges then. I know there's stuff at bridges. put something there. I'm gonna go here. Oh, maybe that's where it is. Okay, we're gonna go there. I see a prisoner thing. So at pretty much every bridge there's something happening, and I haven't explored most of those, so I should do that. Got a dead body?
What happened here?
Big stupid or blind. It's clear as day.
It's also clear he's a witcher. Spare him your lit and answer.
I knows as much as yous, meaning nothing. But with a little learning, corpses can be read like books. Blackland, see, for the Reds. For the bridge.
We've merely seen to it that nothing goes to waste. Take this fine sword, for example. Found it in the rushes. Maybe you'd like to buy it.
And I will buy it.
Well, not like it can be used.
Look at how
for
much
dead
experience I got for that.
May it serve you instead.
New item received, Mourner. I probably get a ton of XP for it. Alright. Yeah. This might be what I'm looking for? I don't remember. I'm level 12. What level? I probably should put Gwen up because they've got a Okay, I need Gwen back. Where is that archer? Where is he? Come back here. Okay, I need Axie now. That actually, they were 4 levels higher than me, and that wasn't too difficult. Did they say I discovered a place? Nope. Pete's Landing. Am I overburdened? Fuck. Fuck. Oh, I got all of these trophies. Well, I mean, I've got a lot of... Do I need these boots? No, I don't need these boots. There we go. I really need to... What's in here? I need the key. What is this? Unsent letter. To the most great and honorable Sergeant Kari Varlican Esquire, you asked me, my good sir, to reckon how many lads I could drum up to work for the Empire's glory. So here's my reckoning. First off, your Esquire's got to know that I can scrounge up a few hayseeds from Claywitch whenever you want, but that's what I call second-rate goods. Geezers and squirts, mainly. But if your Excellency thinks he can find use for even dregs like that, send us a messenger, and within a week's time you'll get a transport full of them dressed up like conies. I've also had word or two with some soldiers who quit the Baron servers after he got soused one night and jammed a hot poker in one of them's eyes. They pitched 2 camps, one right next to the castle, the other near Velen's southern border. And as I'm sure your Woodrus has guessed, they're looking to make some quick coins, so if your most reverend sir can send us a few crowns as a deposit, why, we'll get to work on the double quick and send you the prettiest dames and hardiest lads in all of Velen, maybe even all the north. 100, 200, however many of them the great sergeant wants. Your humble servant, Deligor. So I need a key. These guys are basically in a slave trade. You know, the normal happy stuff. I don't need that. I just need to find the key. Crap. Crap. Where is the key? Okay, I just need to pick up stuff and then drop it later. Being overburdened at this point is not convenient. Ah, there we go. Whoops. I need to drop a lot of weight. No. Drop. Okay. Okay. I unlocked it. But I don't think this is the correct place. I need to go back to... I need to find a weaponsmith. And then I need to mark this spot, and I need to get out of here. There's a lot of money here. Yeah, God, get out of the way. Where am I going? Yes, perfect. Weaponsmiths can be hard to find, but there's one in Oxenford. Well, wait a minute. I think I'm not thinking about this intelligently. I should pick up everything and then ride my horse. Whoa. Come here, horse. Where in the hell is my horse? Why is my horse walking in weird... Where are you? Thank you.
Move it. Go, go.
I think... God. No, Mulberry Dale. That's where I want. That was not the person I needed to rescue.
That stench.
I need... Well, wait a minute. There's a... I'm a little confused. This is going to be the smart play. I thought I talked to the armor smith. The good news is a lot of the monster hunting is put on hold for a long time. I think in the city I'll mostly deal with vampires and men and one very annoying rat quest. And as you can see, fighting something 4 levels higher than me is not a big deal. So Novigrad is kind of like the easiest part of the game. I know you're around here. Where in the hell?
That ain't real fire. Nuh-uh. It is too. They just smear ash on their lips first. That's why it don't hurt. That's all it takes.
The thinking customer will see right away I've got the best deals this side of the pond.
We can try it at home later.
Foul practices. Stop at once. Dancing on a scaffold. They've gone too far.
I think it's rather entertaining.
People die there.
Exactly. And you can fear death or laugh in its face. I prefer the latter.
An abomination.
Don't touch me.
Man, shit just sucks here. Armor. He has money that will help.
Top-notch swords.
Show me what you have in stock.
Yeah, he has a lot of money, so let's just dump this stuff. that in Deeth, which I got. I think I can get a lot more than that. I just want to dump this stuff. My God. Yeah. I get... Okay, that's good.
So long.
There is a guy I want to talk to over here.
The thinking customer will see right away up the best deals this side of the pond.
Isn't it you? Or maybe it's over here? Ah, yes, this guy. He has an extremely strong monster deck.
Known as the White Wolf, the Butcher of Blaviken.
Geralt of Rivia is enough. What is it?
A man came to me a few years past, paid me to keep a book for you. Said you'd come for it one day.
Who was he?
He didn't introduce himself. But the book has a red cover, that I remember. I'm sure I've not sold it.
Alright, see if I can find it.
And perhaps glance at the others while you're at it.
Be glad to look over what you got.
So, okay, so the reason I haven't sold my books is because this guy will buy them. And once you've read it, all that information's permanently stored. And if it's grayed out, you've already read it. Look at how much I'm getting for books. Wow. It's just cheap gold. My God, do I really have that much? Look at how much gold I'm getting for some of this. Wow. Yep. It's just a gold mine. I have so much gold. Okay. I have more, but he has books I don't own. Oh, I want this. And I'm looking for bestiary stuff. Man, there is so much I want. Yeah, we can get that as well. I should read that, actually. A few remarks on basilisks and cockatrices. When you've got such big eyes, why have you got such big eyes, grandmum? Asked the little girl with worry. Shriek, shriek, replied the basilisk. Grandmum, why do you say shriek, shriek? Asked the little girl with surprise. The basilisk didn't reply, but instead clamped its toothy, venomous maw over the curious little girl and swallowed her up. Luckily, a witcher by the name of Eskel was wandering these lands in search of a Zoogle. The witcher was experienced and so knew basilisks only turned people to stone in fairy tales. He also knew it was best to avoid their venom. Eskel noticed the monster had recently eaten, and before anyone could say, ready, steady, go, he threw himself at the beast and cut it open with the silver sword. The basilisk's stomach opened up, and the witcher saw the half-digested, foolish little girl inside. Necronomicon. To think that man appeared on an empty world and gained mastery over it unchallenged is as foolish as thinking the world will cease to exist after man's passing. Before the first humans set foot on our world, it was inhabited by beings superior to men in terms of wisdom, strength, and every other virtue. The beings I have in mind still exist in our present time, though they do not exist in a sphere available to human understanding. They occupy no dimension known to us. Where they live can best be described as a space between worlds. At times, one can sense their presence through a sudden, unknown scent, or a strange feeling of anxiety with no apparent cause. A wind which blows in several directions at once is another example of their subtle manifestation in our realm. There exist various imaginings of what these creatures might look like, yet these have nothing to do with reality, for man is incapable of conceiving something which he has not seen, even in his wildest nightmares. The greatest horror these beings bring comes precisely from their indefiniteness and lack of concrete form, yet it would be a mistake to think that a formless creature is necessarily harmless. The power they possess is sufficient to lay waste to the forest, level a city, or whip an entire sea into froth and waves. Today, man is master of the world, but only for a short while. They await patiently and will soon arise and regain their one-time glory. This is as certain as dawn follows dusk, and dusk then follows again soon after to drown everything once more in darkness. I think he's talking about, elementals. Wait, new message from an old friend? We'll finish that here. Yeah. Geralt stopped by a certain Novigrad book merchant whose owner recognized him at once. He said someone had left the book with him a long time ago with instructions to give it to Geralt if he ever got the chance. This naturally piqued the Witcher's curiosity. Sadly, the book dealer did not know the book's exact present location, only that it had a red cover and that Geralt should look for it in the stacks of dusty tomes and manuscripts. Let's talk to you again.
Interested in books? You don't look the scholar, but probably ones with drawings as well.
Let's see these books of yours.
He's totally mocking me here. I need to sell all this stuff. So much gold. Okay. Actually, I think he still has stuff that I want. I'll grab this. Sure, I'll grab that. I'll just grab everything. Yeah. That's everything. Yep.
Farewell.
We have a bunch of stuff I need to read. The world underground. We hunkered down for the night in a cave so enormous the light from our torches faded into the murky black without revealing any upper bound to it. For most of the night, all we could hear was the rushing of water somewhere behind the wall of the cave. Yet after some time, it is hard to say how much, for we had lost all sense of where day ended and night began. We heard a sort of scraping noise and then the sound of boulders shifting. The scraping turned to a roar, but by the time we were already on our feet and running towards the tunnel through which we had entered the cave, we did so none too soon, for the shifting had opened up a new passage in the cavern, which began to spew out hordes of small, misshapen humanoids. Without breaking stride, I looked over my shoulder, and in the midst of the mass of midgets, I spied the outline of a large black troll. Thus began our run for our lives. The little peasant who confounded his lord. Winter was on its way, and the lord once again started to think about what to do to oppress his people even more. One morning, at the crack of a cockerel's crow, he rode out into the village in a carriage, pulled by 2 black horses, with his trusted page at his side to act as his scribe. The earth was sodden, and a cruel mud covered the road, so the lord, not wanting to dirty his shiny new boots, stayed in his carriage and sent his page to do his bidding. When they arrived at the village, the page dismounted from the carriage, a paper covered in thick ink clutched in his hands. He nailed the paper to the first hut he saw, and since he did it with a hammer, a peasant boy named Reuben soon opened the door up to see what was the matter. The boy was 12 years of age and had a straw-colored shock of cow-licked hair and a freckled face with ruddy cheeks. "Well, what do you want?" grumbled the page, looking at Reuben's shirt, which was covered in the same filth as everything else in the village. "Well, nothing, rightly," Reuben shrugged. "Thing is, sir, this here's me home." "Then get inside it." The boy was scared and instead stood on his doorstep looking at the piece of paper. "So what's this, sir? A letter?" the boy asked. "Read it and find out for yourself," the scribe said, growing angrier that Reuben didn't seem to notice. "Afeard I can't, sir. Don't know how." "What the devil's taking you, scribe?" the lord hollered. He was still sitting in his carriage and hadn't heard the conversation. Clearly he was growing bored. "This whelp says he doesn't know how to read." "Aye, 'cause he don't," Reuben confirmed, and took 2 steps towards the carriage, his bare feet sinking into the muddy gray muck. "And the ones inside, do they?" questioned the lord. "Where do you reckon they learned a thing like that, my lord?" the peasant asked, perplexed, for he had always thought great lords like that must surely know everything. "So who in your village does know how to read?" asked the lord, growing even more irritated. "No one, my lord." Scribe, the lord said, leaning far out while leaning on his carriage door, "Could you explain to me how I am to enforce my declaration on people who do not know how to read and write?" "I don't know, my lord," the scribe said, taking a step back, as if he expected the lord to jump out of the carriage and assault him. The fault was not his, but the lord was in the habit of beating his scribe when he grew angry, no matter the cause. Fauna of the Northern Realms, Volume 1. What a wolf is, every man knows. Who hasn't heard them howling at nights, or seen their tracks in the snow come morning? Who hasn't felt the cold chill run down his spine when he catches sight of the pack of 5 of them hunting in the woods? These beautiful animals are treated by men as enemies, and not without reason, for they attack our flocks and will even kill our horses during times of deep frost. Yet they are noble beasts, endowed with great intelligence and displaying a strength and independence that no man can help but admire. The Wild Hunt. A frail ribbon flickers across the sky, the rider's spectral silhouettes barely discernible within it. Then the cavalcade contorts closer and closer, revealing more and more of their ghastly form. Now the buffalo horns atop their helms penetrate one's view. Now they crest betwixt them, and now the skull-like face exposed beneath their visors. The riders sit astride skeletal mounts, bits of barding stuck to their sides like boils. A furious gale hails through the willows. Their blades now glisten like unfailing stars in the black sky. The wind howls louder and louder. No, that is not wind. That is ghoul song. Suddenly the nightmarish cavalcade twists once more, the hooves of its ghostly mounts churning the light of the will-o'-wisp hanging above the bog. The head of the cavalcade rides the king of the hunt. A rust-eaten bassinet sways above a skull-like mass. Gaping eye sockets burn with a pale blue fire. Around him whirls a tattered cloak. A necklace rattles atop his rust-covered breastplate. Holes empty as the abyss stares out from it. Once they were filled with precious stones, but these all fell out during his race across the skies and became stars. The king of the hunt laughs, his teeth rotten as the grave, snapping above the rusted collar of his breastplate. Blue flames in the sky sockets of his skeletal mask roar. Narensen, son of Gunnasid. When he awoke, he saw before him an endless swath of blue. On the horizon, the sky merged with the glassy sea. The storm had passed. So had the longship and all its crew. He never learned how long he had lain unconscious in the lifeboat. The sun had scorched his skin a purplish red and turned his lips to brittle parchment. He was overcome by a great thirst, but there was nothing on the boat with which to quench it. Had he been spared from so much only to die now? No, Narensen was the son of the great Grunenstad, and he would never give up. He had 20 springs under his belt when he embarked on his voyage. When was that? Long ago. Very long ago. Back when his friend still lived, when he still had his left hand, not his stiff stump. When his beard was so red and not streaked with silver. The drive for glory which had driven him from his family home had demanded a high price. Narensen had never given that a second thought, but now, alone in a lifeboat in the middle of an endless ocean, he felt tired. He wanted to once again set eyes on the farm on which he had been raised, to see the eyes of his mother who had lulled him to sleep with tales of the deeds of the legendary heroes. Now he had become one of them. Now mothers would tell their sons about him. His greatest dream had become reality. He should have been happy, but he wasn't. Perhaps if he had known then what travails and hardship awaited him? Yet no man can know his future. One thing is sure, however, even if Narensen had known what horrors this life had in store for him, he never would have chosen another. He was the son of the great Gunnasid, and he had walked the path of glory from which one can never stray, no matter the cost. The ways and manners of Skellige folk. One attention is immediately drawn to the fact that their seemingly improper huts shine with cleanliness. The walls of their homes are usually made from pine and covered with a substance derived from sap, which keeps out all manner of vermin. I believe it scares off insects as well, for I did not see a single one indoors during my entire stay in Skellige. The interiors of their huts are quite spacious and usually divided into 2 rooms. The first is used by the members of the household during the day. It is separated by a doorway from the second, which acts as a bedroom and contains only simple wooden beds covered with linens that resemble sacks more than continental bedding. In the middle of each chamber stands a large round table, around which members of the household gather to eat only once a day. This usually happens just after dusk, the time for their main meal. This supper is a hallowed event and is carried out in a nearly ritualistic manner. At its start, before the family members have even taken their seats around the table, the eldest of the family tears off a piece of bread and places it on something of a household altar, which occupies a place of honor in each Skallega home. It serves as a symbol of respect for deceased ancestors. At the end of the ceremony for the departed, the entire family sits down to eat. The eldest woman places a steaming bowl in the middle of the table. Everyone has their own spoon, which they dip one by one into the basin of food. They most often eat porridge, over which they pour a gravy made from meat or fish. Curiously, immediately upon the supper's conclusion, the eldest takes the piece of bread set aside at the start of the meal and places it in a large amphora. As I later learned, when an amphora becomes full, it is filled with boiling water, and a beverage is brewed, which is a taste somewhat resembles beer, that is much weaker. Pearls of the North, Oxenford. Oxenford, a gem snuggling in the bosom of the Pontor to the east of Novigrad, a cradle erected from Redanian soil, nurturing the greatest minds not only of that kingdom but of all the North. To walk its hallowed academy's halls is to embark on a journey through learning, from the finest points of philosophy to the grandest strokes of art, which stops me to admire architecture and dissect medicine along the way. Peer to either side and you will spy fellow travelers in your pilgrimage of learning, the students. They throng Oxenford streets, lending it an indelible imprint of youth that can be felt the moment you pass through its gates. Dormitories stand cheek by jowl, booksellers hawk used tomes on every corner, and every tree fresh faces debate poetry with passion. Yet youth is not at all slate and compass, and the young here shirk none of his other typical pastimes. Raucous and merry are the city streets both by day and even more so by night. Though the city councilors have forbidden the sale of alcohol after dusk, no one seems eager to enforce this with stricture, and wisely so, for any loss of sleep is more than made up for by the gains. Profits to fatten its innkeepers' pockets, and the late-night crooning of the troubadours wrench its soul. For architecture, of particular note are the recently renovated elven aqueducts used to clean the city's sewers. They stand as witness to the city's innovating spirit. You will not find their like in all the civilized world, yet dominating the town's architectural visage like a glistening crown is the complex of buildings that comprises the Oxenford Academy. Few today remember that these edifices constructed by the elves predated the city itself. It is the institution that named the city and not vice versa. Today, Oxenford Academy enjoys a reputation matched only by the Imperial Academy in Nilfgaard. Of greatest renown, the departments of alchemy, natural history, minstrelsy, and poetry, medicine, herbology, engineering, and last but certainly not least, philosophy. Beast of the Tukaj foothills. The peasants of the Tukaj foothills say fiends are born of magic, for at times witches cast spells on bears, causing them to mount boars, and the resultant offspring is neither boar nor bear, but has the makings of a fiend. Usually such boars, piglets, die of hunger, but they are at times found and taken in by witches. Raised on enchanted milk, they grow in strength, and soon enough the milk is no longer enough for them. Now fiends, they start hunting and kill their victims with the ferocity of a boar and the strength of a bear. But they remain ever true to their mothers, meaning the witches. The witches protect them from danger, answer their every summons, and aid them in all things. Golem, or man's most faithful servant. Despite what you may have heard, the first golem was created not by a powerful mage or an elven sage, but by a simple dwarf from Maribor named Bonaventura Sesto, a brickmaker. The fateful act of creation took place over a century ago when the persecution of non-humans was in full swing in Maribor. Elves and dwarves have been accused of bringing an epidemic to the city that was later discovered the outbreak had been caused by a man named Matheo. A bard keeps the dog's body at the Golden Goose Inn. This Matheo was charged with both serving meals and cleaning the latrines and would only wash his hands once a month, and then not very thoroughly. The rest, as they say, is history. The persecution of non-humans was limited at first to robbing their shops, arson, and the occasional beating, but the violence soon escalated into a bloody pogrom. As the city guard looked on without lifting a finger, humans murdered elves and dwarves during these 3 days and 3 nights of slaughter, killing over 300 individuals, including the aforementioned Bonaventura Sesto's entire family. Driven mad with grief and thirsting for vengeance, Bonaventura molded a 10-foot-tall humanoid out of clay, and then carved the names of the slain non-humans onto it, along with a smattering of dwarven curses. Once finished, he slit his own throat, and when his blood splattered his gigantic statue, it came alive and started walking towards the city. Bonaventura had his sweet revenge on his persecutors. His creation killed almost 500 humans, including the mayor and the entire city council, before the soldiers from the city garrison could take it out using their ballista. The Conclave's later investigation found that Bonaventura had possessed hidden magic talent, though he had never had any training. The torrent of powerful emotions running through him at that time of his death flushed out his Latin powers and created from them a new spell. After numerous alterations and improvements, one can now cast a spell without sacrificing one's life, and golems guard laboratories, libraries, and palaces across the continent. Wondrous world of insectoids. One is hard-pressed to think of a creature more hardworking and better organized than the Andrigga. Ants, bees, and termites are no match for them in this regard. Andriggas beat bats even humans when it comes to foresightedness and industry. In fact, the human race could benefit a great deal from following their example, resigning from the primitive and absolute social structures of feudalism and adopting a set of form of arachnocommunism. In arachnocommunism, every individual has a specific place and performs a specific labor for the common good. The roles are as follows: worker, soldier, and queen. Each comrade contributes to the necessary daily toil according to his special abilities and takes from the common fund of wealth according to his special needs. The horse whistler. Breaking in a horse psyche is a simple matter of instilling your will as a rider into your mount, acquiring its trust, and training its obedience. Horses are intelligent, noble beasts, so they should be treated with tenderness and a decisive and firm energy. Mayer, the unquestioned authority in this area, emphasizes that when training one's mount, a rider must internally on the lookout for errors in the training itself. Every time the taming process ends in failure, the rider must look for the blocking error, first of all in his own actions, secondly in the horse's anatomy, and only in last resort by concluding the horse has a naturally difficult temperament. Adhering to this principle protects one from undue punishments which destroy the possibility of reaching an understanding between rider and mount, making it impossible to gain the animal's trust. Cool. Wow, I need to look at alchemy. Dragons release a cloud of glass that explodes when ignited. Wow. Produce a fiery explosion that can cause nearby opponents to start burning. Enhanced effect. Destroy monster nests. Fine. Ogroid oil. I am all for that. What's that quest called? Message from a friend. I should probably do that. I have a lot of bestiary entries. Like, a lot.
The treatment of furuncles through cauterization. A study.
I should read that. God, there's a lot of reading. Everyone's seen a boil, usually more than they care to. The deformities don't just mar your beauty, they can be signs of disease, or even the disease's cause and epicenter. If your lungs wheeze and your heart flutters, or if you're just sick of pustules, you can carve them off and be free of this ill for good. When you go to carve off a boil, use a sharp knife which you had a dog lick thoroughly beforehand, for a dog's tongue works wonders in healing wounds. You gotta be brave as you go about it, slicing as confidently and steadily as if carving off a hunk of cheese. Then quickly cauterize the resultant wound using a red-hot poker. Don't pay any mind to screams or tears, plus bile and any other humors need to be gathered in a basin, then dumped in a pit covered, else the illness might return. Yeah, that makes sense.
My manifesto. Must be it. There's a letter inside.
There's another book as well.
Those hunters would burn a rainbow if they could.
Moribundia, the vampire's last likeness.
Yes, master? Yes? Yes, master?
Tyromancy, or the noble art of cheese divination.
Alright. When splendid diversity reigns in the kingdom of cheese, the ripened curd can be white or blue, hard or soft, fresh or aged from the milk of cows, sheep or goats, brined, pickled, or untouched. This list could go on till the end of time, and each of them, every last slice, every morsel and crumb, not only brings with it an unmatched rush of sensory experience, but in the right hands can be made to reveal the universe's most closely guarded secrets. For cheese, like the innards of sacrificed animals, the flight of a swallow, or vivid dreams can be used for divination. The depths and size of a cheese's holes reveal when rains will fall in the coming year, while the color of mold veins tell who shall love whom, and the scent of a hard grana padano predicts which army will vanquish its foes and which shall perish. The best divination, however, is done using the ancient method of fondue. One must simply melt two different kinds of cheese, preferably Emmental and Gruyere, in white wine, or in a pinch in a dry apple cider. Then one must use a long stick to immerse a morsel of bread in the resultant thick soupy mixture, all the while keeping in mind the question, what shall my child be like when he or she, as the case may be, grows? Then bring the cheese-covered morsel of bread up to a candle so that it casts a shadow on the wall. The shape will provide a sure and easily understood answer to your query. My manifesto, the life of Jacques de Eldersburg. The reasons for choosing Jacques de Eldersburg as Grand Master remain a mystery. The Order of the White Rose has gone through a crisis in those times. It was on the verge of collapse, so one might guess that the Brethren wished to have someone decisive as their leaders, someone with a clear vision. De Eldersburg was precisely such a man. One of his first decisions was to change the Brotherhood's name to the Order of the Flaming Rose. The most puzzling aspect, however, is that the Order and the King himself decided to trust a man who, for all intents and purposes, had appeared out of nowhere. They say he was a wanderer, an itinerant priest, who moved crowds with his speeches declaiming non-humans. They say he worked miracles and showed his flock visions of a world destroyed by the White Frost. He was undoubtedly a man of great charisma, one instilled with unshakable principles, which he in turn tried to instill in others. Was he truly a source? Was he indeed a gift with raw magic talent? We will never know for certain. If you're more interested in this guy, you should play The Witcher 1, and you learn all about that. Letter from A. Witcher. In the ocean of possibility, some events are more likely and some less. It is not easy to fish out the first, not even when one's intellect stretches through all time and space. I left this letter for you in the hope that despite all odds you will come across it one day, for I must warn you, mankind is threatened. The prophesied destruction by the White Frost is not just the babbling of some mad she-elf. Perhaps I will have the opportunity to convince you of this in person. If not, I must rely on this letter, which you will read many years from now at a time when you know more than you did when we first met. Know nothing will save the world except preparing its entire population for this catastrophe. The old tale say a child of the elder blood can stave off the danger, but I tried and failed. Ever since I have been haunted by a hideous vision, a crowned wraith, the specter of my failure. I was the chosen one, and the chosen one failed. You and your brotherhood are our only hope. When the time of the wolf's blizzard comes, men shall perish, and only the Ubermen will survive. Your duty is to give the world Ubermen. Whatever you think of A, do not fail as I have failed. A. That's this person, Aldusberg. And you can learn a lot more about this from the first game. Moribunda, the vampire's last likeness. Thereupon Isabella took Edward's glistening visage in her hand and embraced his icy lips, which were twisted into a cynical grin. Forgive me, my love, she whispered, stifling the sobs heaving her bosom, but my heart doth long with fiercer passion for yon werewolf whom thou hatest with all thy vampiric thoughtlessness. 'Tis for the best, spoke Edward, shifting his pale face toward the equally pale moon. With me thy life was ever endangered. With your werewolf thou shalt know peace and happiness. Edward turned around and took a step towards the exit, but Isabella grabbed his wrist and bade to stop. He stopped. The touch of her hand was so tender, his heart newly began to beat anew after centuries of deadly stillness. There is more, spoke she, averting his penetrating gaze. I am with child. I believe they're making fun of, Twilight. About the werewolf, vampire threesome with the human, and I think she was pregnant in the end. So, CD Projekt Red was having fun. Where is this? This quest didn't even have... this one. Geralt stopped by a certain Novigrad book merchant whose owner recognized him at once. He said someone had left a book with him a long time ago with instructions to give it to Geralt if he ever got the chance. This naturally piqued the Witcher's curiosity. Sadly, the book dealer did not know the book's exact present location, only that it had a red cover and that Geralt should look at it for his stacks of dusty tomes and manuscripts. Geralt found the book and incited a letter from someone he had once known, though he gave no outward sign of it. This filled him with touching recollections of old times. To this day, I don't know who the old friend was nor what he had written in the letter, and that's a shame, for judging by Geralt's behavior, therein lies a very interesting tale. It is very, very interesting, and the one thing CD Projekt Red needs to do is completely remaster the first Witcher game, because the story is unbelievable. It's a real tearjerker in a lot of ways, and I think they need to re-voice act it as well. It's really, really, really good, but the gameplay is gross. Okay. I need to sell these books.
You're back.
Let's see the...
Because I don't need this anymore. I'm getting a lot of money for this. Awesome. Let's play cards. This guy is really tough.
A few rounds of Gwent.
I'm actually surprised he's not a, we're gonna need Northern Realms. And... Yep. This guy is really hard, if I recall. Decoy. How useful is Decoy? It might be really useful. My logic here is I have more of these than the Reavers. a horn. I don't think the horn's going to be that useful. Okay. Oh, did I accidentally trade out my spy? Well, that was a disaster. I had 2 spies in my hand. I thought I was trading the horn and I traded the spy. That was not good. The good news is 2 horns have been blown. I think this is going to severely weaken the Scoia'tael plays. They're probably going to pass here. Really? Why are you continuing? Yeah. So my strategy here is to basically play games. I think my opponent has a Scorch, so it's extremely important that I don't do anything that buffs. They can play that. So I'm protected from Scorch right now, so I'm going to keep it that way. Let's see what happens. You probably are gonna res my spy. Oh, really? I thought this guy was a lot harder. Wow. Okay. I could have sworn I got a good card from him. Velen Tretmirth. Wow. Yeah. Also calls himself Orc 3 Jackdaws. He's not the best of names. Yeah, Velen Tretmirth is nice. I don't need this guy anymore. Every deck could use him. I don't need these Monachum defenders. Velen Tretmirth is nice. Don't need you. Okay, I have bestiary entries to read. Oh my god. Dragonoids. Basilisk. They are weak to Golden Oriole, Grape Shot, Dragonoid Oil, and Ard. Basilisk. In memory of the noble knight Roderick, slain during a valiant struggle against a basilisk, let's hope the beast choked on his bones. Gravestone inscription, Vizima Cemetery. Contrary to popular belief, basilisks cannot turn anything to stone with their gaze. That is small comfort, however, given that their acid venom, claws, and teeth provide them many other ways to kill. Basilisks love dark, damp places such as cellars, caves, and city sewers. They hunt by day, waiting patiently and hiding for their prey to come, then jump out in a flash to unleash a deadly attack. When preparing to fight such a creature, one should drink Golden Oriole, which will provide resistance to its venom, and also prepare Dancing Star or Shrapnel Bombs, which work particularly well against Basilisk. Basilisk leather is highly valued material used to make fashionable shoes and women's handbags. For this reason, many men, the courage girded by gold lust, take to hunting them. Most of these hunts end in disaster, but some do manage to bag their prey, which has led to a drastic decline in this creature's numbers in recent years. Some mages and druids are of the opinion that Basilisk should be included in programs meant to safeguard dying species. Everyone else thinks those mages and druids have gone completely mad. Let's see, Elementa. Golems. They're weak to Demetrium and Elemental Oil. It wants us to break through this wall. We're going to need 20 sappers, 7 mules, and 100 weight of saltpeter or 1 golem. The mineral brass form it of melt carbon. Golems are mindless matter brought to life by a spell. They obey their creator's orders without question. Their boundless strength, ability to withstand pain, endless patience, and the fact that they need not one jot of food or drink makes them the best servants or guards anyone could ask for. Once provoked, they will not tire of battle until they have either crushed their opponent or themselves crumbled into dust. Defeating a golem is extraordinarily difficult for obvious reasons. It does not bleed, it feels no fear or mercy, and it's invulnerable to fire and poison. What's more, a golem's body is as hard as the rock it is sometimes heft out of, so even a silver blade will barely wound it. The monster's only weakness is acid. The blade covered in acrid oil can thus increase one's chances for victory. Golems use no weapons, for they have no need. Their fists, weighing over 100 pounds each, can crush solid granite with one hit. A blow from a golem should thus be avoided at all costs. There is no shield that can stop it, no sword that can parry it. That is no easy task, for these creatures are able to move with surprising speed. Luckily, their enormous mass means they are not very agile. Once a golem begins a charge, you cannot stop quickly, a fact experienced witchers use to their advantage. Insectoids. Arachnes. Weak to a golden oriole, insectoid oil. Naracha and Woid and Dyson let sleeping Arachasai lie. Elven proverb. Powerful pincers, a maw filled with razor-sharp teeth and venom glands packed with deadly toxins. These constitute the Arachas' deadly arsenal. Since people and farm animals make up an important part of these creatures' diet, contracts on Arachasai in turn constitute an important source of witcher coins. Andriga drones, same thing. Lazy good-for-nothing men are sometimes called drones. That's an insult to Andriga drones, who at least get off their arses to fight. Evelyn Harker, herbalist. Andriga males called drones are gluttonous creatures whose only aim in life is to eat, fight, and reproduce. Yet when venturing outside their nest, these aggressive hunters attack any and every creature they come across. Andriga drones live but brief lives, the culmination of which comes in the autumn when they fertilize the queen. They pass the time leading to that moment, protecting the colonist's territory. Weaker drones die in these battles while the largest and strongest survive. These elect individual genes are passed down to the next generation of Andrigas while they themselves are killed after fertilization takes place, and their body is used to feed the hive during the long winter months. Drones are easy to identify thanks to their distinctive cone-shaped abdomens. Unlike other Andrigas, they can attack from a distance, sending out volleys of poison quills. As with all of their kind, bleeding has no effect on them, and insect oil does them great harm. That's very true. Ogroids. Ice trolls. They are weak to ogroid oil and quin. Our winter's cold and deep, frostbite eats your feet, snow falls down and hides the ground, and ice trolls wake from sleep. Folk song heard in northern Kedwin. Climbing to the top of snow-covered peaks is never a safe endeavor. One can slip and fall into a ravine, be buried in an avalanche, or stumble across ice trolls. Unlike the rock trolls found at lower altitudes, these permafrost-dwelling monsters treat every man they encounter as a possible ingredient for a tasty meal. Luckily, ice trolls live atop high mountain ridges, so inaccessible they rarely encounter humans, and some suppose this is why they have not mastered the basics of common speech. Others claim their harsh mountain home has stripped them of an ability they once possessed, for in a land of never-ending cold, there is no room for mercy or understanding. Ice trolls are crueler than their rocky kin, though they use similar tactics in battle. Tossing stones and swinging with their mighty fists, they are hardier and stronger than rock trolls, and thus more dangerous. Like rock trolls, their backs are covered in thick, protective armor, meaning one should never strike them from the rear. Meanwhile, their mass means that the art sign cannot move them. Lastly, never think of attacking them during a blizzard. At such times, they draw power from the surrounding cold and fight with increased strength. Rock trolls are weak to ogroid oil and quin. Man must riddly talk, but no tricksy, or troll boom man head. Rock troll dwelling in a cave in Undvik. If while hiking high in the mountains you come across a walking stone, do not think your eyes deceive you. Instead, draw your sword, for before you stands a rock troll. True, not every encounter with these creatures ends in a fight. While not particularly intelligent, trolls are capable of reason, but it's better to prepare for the worst. Otherwise, your hike might end not on the summit, but in their stew. Trolls are able to use fire and simple tools, and some of them have even mastered the basics of common speech. While linguistic nuances such as conjugations and declinations escape them, they are extremely fond of riddles, rhymes, and all sorts of wordplay, a fact a Witcher in possession of a bit of wit can use to his advantage. If a fight proves inevitable, one must watch out for the stones these trolls throw with great strength and shocking precision. The powerful heavy fists also present a danger, for they can buckle even the sturdiest breastplate or cuirass. Since their backs are covered in a layer of rocky growth, blows delivered from behind will not do them much damage. They must thus be fought directly, standing face to face, and preferably armed with a sword covered in a fresh coating of ogroid oil. Yup. Whoops. Relics. Quartz are weak against Devil's Puffball and Relic Oil. Chorts are smaller than fiends, true, but still big enough to kill. Agnes Thistle, herbalist from the Black Forest. Chorts are the somewhat smaller kin of fiends and bum-avetches, yet any witcher who thinks their diminutive stature means they present no danger commits a grave error. The kind that can end his career permanently. These denizens of dark and ancient woods are some of the most dangerous monsters known to man. Legends often mistake chorts for sylvans, ascribing to them the ability to speak, stand on two legs, gobble up cabbage, play pranks, and work mischief around the household. The arrival of a true chort in a region soon puts an end to such tales. Creatures do not speak, at best communicating with each other through grunts, snorts, and moans. They get about on four legs, and as for their mischief, they destroy farmsteads, devouring anything that can be devoured, including cabbage, if such is available, but also extending to poultry, pork, the family dog, and the family itself. Chorts fight with little finesse, running straight towards their opponent and trying to knock him to the ground with the force of their charge. After drowning their foe, they bite, kick, and strike with their claw-tipped paws. Due to their size and four-legged posture, they are mostly unperturbed by the force of the Ard sign, and the regenerative powers of their body allow any wounds they receive to heal at a rapid pace. Yep. And that is it. Is something else to loot? Is that... My god, there's so much stuff to read. The Merry Adventures of Muriel, the Lovely Harlot, illustrated edition. On one occasion, Muriel went on a journey to see her auntie in Maribor, accompanied by her nursemaid. The path took them through a forest, and in this forest lived a raucous troop of bandits. This infamous group was led by Flynn Selms, and all the king's men had been unable to bring them to justice. Alas, such was Muriel's great misfortune that these bandits chose to attack her carriage. Muriel's nursemaid was old, blind, and deaf. She did not wake when a tree fell in front of their carriage with a loud thud, nor when the bandits fought a fierce battle against the guardsmen. When Flynn ripped open the carriage door with their muscular arms and stepped inside, Muriel had to deal with the danger herself. "Make our guests comfortable, young lady," the old nursemaid muttered in her sleep. Muriel obediently carried out her instructions. So, what am I thinking? I think this is what's next. And I actually still have yeah, I think there's still some stuff over here, and there's still bridges I haven't done, like this one. And I feel like I might have missed... I did that one. And there's a quest I missed. There's a lot of stuff that I missed. My god. There's a bandit camp here? Huh. And there's a merchant I missed, I think somewhere in this region. Okay. But until next time, Richard out. I should